Shedeur. I just bust down my AP. It's perfect timing. Top of the morning, the afternoon, and the evening to you, whomever you may be. Wherever you may be watching, looking, or listening. I am your hostess with the mostest. Your boy, your player, your partner, your homeboy, your kinfolk, your cousin, whatever adjective that is friendly and kind to a soul like mine. I'm your host, Anthony Moore, Ant Mo, for those of you who know for sure, and welcome to You Gon' Get These Sports, bruh. And as you can see from the Bezzy, you know what I'm saying? Now, it's not an AP, but I'm going to get one in honor of today's most talked about and popular guest in the culture. That is Shedeur Sanders. Let me take that off because I just want to let y'all know, man, it's too bright. It's too bright out in Hollywood. But welcome to another episode number 2, dose of You Gonna Get These Sports, bruh. And like I said last week, we are going to talk about Shedeur Sanders. We got numbers, we got stats, and we got facts to talk about all the things that just happened the other day. And I got to be honest with you, man, I'm quite pleased to talk about this subject because women lie a little more than men. But men lie. But what don't lie? Them numbers. Them numero uno. You know what I'm saying? And so, for those of you who have been living under a rock, Shedeur Sanders, son of none other than Deion Sanders, primetime Deion Sanders, Hall of Famer, Super Bowl champion, etc., etc., etc. Listen, man, you went out there, 2 hamstring pulls. One guy is the proclaimed starter that won't be playing in Joe Flacco. But we do have your boy Shedeur getting the lion's share. I won't say all of the load, but came out in the third quarter. As far as I'm concerned, he looked phenomenal, and he did what he was supposed to do. Listen, he's a rookie, so rookies are going to make mistakes. We know that. But Shedeur Sanders is proving to everyone that, number one, collusion is real. Because, I mean, what are we talking about here? We all have seen the film on this kid. We know he's not a 5th-round draft pick. We know that Cam Ward isn't leaps and bounds better than Shedeur Sanders. But the media, the brass of the NFL, the GMs, the owners, they all showed that they have the power to do exactly what they want to do when they want to do it. So, as you can see from the thumbnail, Shedeur Sanders. And the question was, perfect timing? You know what I'm saying? So, let me just pull up my little stats here. Let's start this off with a shebang, you feel me? Shedeur Sanders, 14 of 23, 138 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, no fumbles lost. He did have some bonehead plays. He could have had an interception. On this platform, on You Gonna Get This Sports, or the network itself, this is absolutely a network, but on this version, You Gonna Get These Sports, we're going to keep it a bean. They're Mo, keeping it 1,000 as always. You feel me? Now, who is Troubled Youth? Because I don't know who that is. Please inform me. No disrespect to you, my brother or sister. I absolutely am going to keep it a bean with you. You feel me? Let me move this out the way because it's in front of my sign. But yeah, please tell me who you are. I just don't recognize the Troubled Youth. But Shedeur Sanders, listen, he absolutely. All right, let me move this down some more, y'all. I apologize. But he absolutely could have done better. But this is what I want people to understand. Thank you for liking. Thank you for anybody who is watching and chiming in. Please continue to hit the like. Please share this with somebody so we can get into some Shedeur Sanders talk. But let me say this. This is what I want people to understand about what we just witnessed. What's good, Bruce? Glass in the building. Top of the morning, the afternoon, the evening to you, man. I appreciate my boy Bruce for chiming in, as always. One of my go-to guys. But let me say this. This is what I want people to understand about Shedeur Sanders. And let me read the stats one more time before we get into it. 14 of 23. Some bonehead throws in there without a doubt. Some still holding on to the ball in the pocket. Going back to Colorado, this is what we have to realize about Shedeur Sanders. He loves the long ball. Let me say that. Watching him at Colorado, he held on to the ball for a long time for two reasons. Number one, that offensive line couldn't block an intersection. You feel me? The second thing is, he loves the long ball. Point blank in the period, kinfolk. He loves to throw the ball deep. And I saw the progression. I remember telling Randy, I said, hey, listen, this is what we need to look out for going into that final season before he actually went pro. I said, Shedeur Sanders loves to throw the ball deep. He is going to have to start finding some quicker outlets. Not just throwing screens because that's a bubble play because that's the call, but because in the NFL, you absolutely are going to get throttled, especially if you're a high draft pick or got drafted by like I was going to say the Cincinnati Bengals, who also have a terrible offensive line, but the Cleveland Browns. If you are drafted by a team that is rebuilding in some sorts, or in his case, when you done got screwed over and that you probably should have been drafted number 5 because the Graham kid, I mean, I don't know, maybe he got I don't know, he's irrelevant. But either way, I said he's going to have to work on getting rid of the ball faster. So he had a couple times where he was trying to be a little too elusive in the pocket, and it would be better if you just got rid of the ball. So that was my critique of him early on in his career. But going into what I just said, this is what we have to understand. Shedeur Sanders has never played a down in the NFL ever. Do you hear me? I said ever. Like never, ever, ever has he played a down in the NFL. So when we start matching his numbers up and how he was able to handle the moment against all the teams we've saw play over the last couple days, what is the issue and what is the excuse? That's what I want to know. What is the issue and what is the excuse? The reality is this. The kid has been poised to play in the NFL since he was a young child. The reality is also this. He has been Deion Sanders' kid since he was born. All right, and I know that's stating the obvious, but listen. He's not a stranger to being put in situations where he has to put up or shut up. So with that being said, I took the liberty of going back not too far, but far enough so I can start looking at some stats and some numbers here and start seeing what is it that he actually, how good has this kid been amidst the fact of wherever he played football, whoever his dad was, whatever the expectation was, right? Shedeur Sanders won 3 high school football championships while playing for Trinity Christian School in Texas. He led the team to 3 consecutive Division II state championships in the Texas Association of Private and whatever that word is schools. His final high school season also included TCAL National Championship. So listen, you know what? Okay, so let me put it to you this way. When I was in high school, there were kids, right, that played basketball. And when they felt like they weren't getting enough burn, they would go to this school in Fort Worth over off of like near Granbury or whatever, called Fort Worth Country Day. And they went over there, they was getting burned for sure. They were playing with a bunch of kids that weren't to their level, so to speak. They may have won a championship. Maybe. I can't recall. But the reality is, it is not a given that because a kid plays in the TAPS League, or you go play for Fort Worth Country Day, or you go play at a JUCO, that you are going to actually execute and win. I.e., if you look at a kid like Cameron Newton, who went to the state championship in high school in football and basketball, and he lost both. He goes to Florida, gets kicked out for the whole laptop thing, goes to Blinn, wins a championship. He wasn't even getting recruited, and the kid that they were actually recruiting, the receiver, got hurt. They see him, kid's 6'5", whatever, slinging the ball around, and he gets the opportunity to go play for Auburn, wins the national championship, goes to the NFL. The rest is history. My point is this. You have to execute with the opportunities that you are given in life on any level. It doesn't matter if it's NBA, NFL, at your job on a regular basis. You have to perform. And Shedeur Sanders has done nothing but perform, i.e., 3 national championships in high school. You don't just roll up out of bed and win a championship. The kid has been molded by what I believe to be the greatest quarterback of all time in Tom Brady. Tom Brady has won, what, 7 championships? Went to 9 championships? So that guy, and shout out to my boy Akeem, because he pointed this out. When you've been trained by somebody like that, I believe that it can only technically really translate. And what I mean is, you'll never see how great a kid can be in the NFL until they get to the NFL. So if you've been trained by Tom Brady since you were in high school, you have a leg up as far as understanding poise, footwork. Tom Brady was never as athletic as Shedeur is. But Shedeur has found a way to execute in life, on the field, period. We all understand what happened with the draft. What I said earlier to one of my good buddies, Justin, I said, show me where somebody has something negative to say about Shedeur Sanders. I'm not talking about him putting his watch up. I'm not talking about him talking noise to a quarterback in Colorado State after the game that talked noise about him openly in an interview, saying about the flash and all of these things. No, show me where a teammate said he's selfish. He doesn't work hard. He doesn't watch the film. He doesn't do the extra work. I have yet to find where somebody has some notes saying that was actually true. As well as, and take it for what you want, Deion Sanders even said, where are these reports about what he didn't want to do? He did bad in his testings when it came to those 138. Remind me of the Deshaun Watson era. Yeah, so, yeah, absolutely. Thank you, my brother Raul Havana. Appreciate you for chiming in. Make sure you please hit the like and subscribe, man. We talk sports and a plethora of other things here. But you're absolutely correct, my brother. Let me ask you, what did you think about Shedeur and how he performed on the field? I'll wait for you to respond. But what I will say is, we got to remember that franchise has been decrepit for a long time in the Cleveland Browns. Everybody is showing love to Shedeur. We love that family. Let me be clear here. Let me see what my boy Bruce Glass says. Shout out to the chat. Shedeur Sanders will make some teams regret on passing on him. And I fully agree with you, Bruce. And I cherish your words because I do absolutely believe that you understand football in a different way. And you know me. I'm not that biased. There are certain things that I may be biased of, but overall, I like to keep it a beam on here. You feel me? So, like I was saying, decrepit franchise. We have Deshaun Watson, who tore his Achilles, and then supposedly was doing something wrong, and then retore his Achilles. So he's not a factor. Okay? Then we have Dillon Gabriel, who shouldn't have been drafted ahead of Shedeur, but we don't have to go there. He's throwing picks left and right in practice, whatever. We have Joe Flacco. Let's look at what Joe Flacco has done in the NFL. Okay, quickly with the Baltimore Ravens. Played 4 years, did nothing. Got to his 5th year. Okay, bet on himself, so to speak, because he had no choice but to bet on himself. What are you going to do? You going to sit out? No, you're going to play. He's a starting quarterback. They barely make it into the playoffs, and then he turns into this deep ball phenomenon, and they go on to win a championship. He gets paid. He broke off. And I'm coming to you in a second, Raul. I'm finna get to you. Give me 1 second, my brother. He gets broke off. He then turns into a complete scrub in the NFL. Argue with your mama, your kinfolk, your cousin, them too, kinfolk. But the truth is, Joe Flacco has done nothing in the NFL since he won that championship but get paid and let the Baltimore Ravens down. So he's also on his last leg in the NFL. He's beyond his last leg. He's on his last nub. So if you're going to get me to believe that Joe Flacco is in fact going to lead this team to the playoffs, I don't care about him coming in spot pockets, to do whatever he's done in the past. He's not going to lead that team anywhere. So if you're going to usher in a new era, you might as well do it with Shedeur Sanders. Raul Havana said the Browns have agreed to retire Sanders' number after he fails to make the practice squad. Wow. So you're a hater. I get it, Raul. Okay. I get it. So let me ask you a question. Because, see, I was asking you a real question here. I see you coming with the jokes, and that's cute and all and whatever. But how long have you been a hater of the Sanders family? Because when it's like this, you're a hater. I know it. I'm telling you, I know it to be true. You didn't hit me with a stat. You didn't hit me with what you disagree with. You just came with some hate. So please, tell me how long have you been a hater? And we'll move on. But, I'm a Cowboys fan. But I am absolutely a Shedeur Sanders fan. I'm a Sanders family fan, so I'm going to be rooting for anything that puts on a jersey that's got the last name Sanders on it that came from Deion. I'm sorry. It just is what it is. But I wanted to, and I might have lost my train of thought there. We're going to keep it pushing. So let me continue to give you a bit more of stats here, okay? Because I came locked and loaded with some stats for you tonight. Shedeur Sanders, whatever, career at Jackson State. So during his tenure at Jackson State, he led the team to a 23-3 record as a starter, including 2 SWAC championships and 2 appearances in the Celebration Bowl. So here's the other thing. That team at Jackson State was garbage when they got there. So one year they got their wits about them, and then they went on to win 2 SWAC championships. Got to the Celebration Bowl twice, and they lost twice. One time, that tight end dropped the ball after Shedeur and Travis put on a clinic. 4th down after 4th down, they were converting. It was actually riveting to watch, to be honest. And that's no glaze, that's just being honest. It was nut clutching time at that point, and Shedeur and Travis showed up time after time. So 2 SWAC championships, 2 appearances to the national championship for the SWAC or whatever that league is. So then it says at Colorado, he broke numerous school records and earned Big 12 Offensive Player of the Week honors. Okay, cool. So let me look at these stats. I want to make sure I ain't telling you nothing I ain't told you before. He holds the Jackson State record season passes for 40 touchdowns and 344 completions. Second in Jackson State history for passing yards with 3,700. Let's be clear. He was at Jackson State for 2 years. And he's number 2. And he's got a whole bunch of other records that he broke. Let's go ahead and go to Colorado, because the talk was when this kid gets to the big boy dance that he's not going to be able to cut the mustard. This is what I want to know before we even get into his stats at Colorado. Is it my job? So if they put me out there, if I'm a 6'6" basketball player and they put me in the paint against a guy that's 5'3", they put me out there against Muggsy Bogues, is it my job to say, oh, he's not big enough, sub the other guy in so I can have more competition? Or am I supposed to execute against what you give me? That's my question. And that's a real question. Before I talk about how he went from the SWAC to the Big 12 and did the things that he did. So that's a real question. Bruce Glass said, I'm a Washington fan, but I am also a fan of Shedeur Sanders and his family. Respect to my boy. You feel me? So we all agree. We can all agree. Thumbs up in the chat. Put 1 in the chat, whatever. We all can agree that you are supposed to execute no matter what level for what you are capable of doing in any level in life. I don't care if it's a business meeting. I don't care if it's intramural sports. I don't care if it's the NCAA. I don't care if it's professional. Any level. You're supposed to execute. Correct? 1 in the chat if you agree. So we just talked about his stats from the SWAC, Jackson State, what he was able to do, right? Now we're going to go to the team that was 1-11 when they got there. Remember, Deion said, I'm bringing luggage, and it's Louis. And everybody laughed at him, and everybody talked noise about him, right? Cool. Shedeur started 24 games at Colorado, finished, I don't know why they just didn't give me the percentage, but 651 passes out of 907 for 7,000 yards. So he threw for more yards at Colorado, let me double check that. I don't want to be wrong here. Oh, absolutely. He threw for more yards at Colorado than he did in the SWAC. So he doubled his output. I just want to hear the hate as clear as the love once I start spitting facts here. So he has 64 touchdowns, 13 interceptions. We're not going to act like interceptions don't happen, but 64 touchdowns to 13 interceptions sounds phenomenal to me. I mean, sounds like a great record, ratio. Broke over 100 school records, finished third in passing, fifth in the... Now, mind you, we're also talking about a Colorado team that has won a national championship back in the day. Has some real ballers over there. So finished third in passing after 2 years, fifth in attempts, third in completions, first in passing touchdowns. Listen, hey, baby, girls dig the long ball, and we got to score, kinfolk. People love that you can score. So what are we talking about here? So let the hate be as big as the love. Thank you for those who are hitting the like. I appreciate you. Show love. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you share. Make sure you comment below. Let me know who's in here with me. So, led the Big 12 in completion percentage at 74% and ranked second in completions, 353. So, is the Big 12 a bad conference? Is there technically considered to be a bad conference in the NCAA? And that's a real question. I want to know, because there probably is. But my point is, the Big 12 is not a bad conference. Absolutely not a bad conference. And he finished at the top in completion percentage. 74%. That's good if I'm not mistaken, right? Sounds like a kid that should be drafted higher than the 5th round, right? Right? I mean, give me some feedback here. You know what I'm saying? I just want to know. Set a school record for passing touchdowns with 37 and ranked 4th in the FBS in passing yards with 4,000. Cool. Now, I wanted to measure this up against his good friend Cam Ward, who, if I'm being honest, I still haven't seen a lot of tape on him. I don't know how good he actually is, quote unquote. I didn't care enough to go watch film. That's just me. Not because I think he's a bad player or anything. You don't get drafted number 1 in this regard being a terrible player. No. But is he leaps and bounds? So you're telling me Cam Ward is number 1 worthy in reality, and Shedeur Sanders is not worthy of being the 2nd quarterback drafted, the 3rd quarterback drafted, the 4th quarterback drafted? I mean, keep it a bean with me here. I'm just asking the questions that need answers. So it says Cam Ward did not win any high school football championships while at Columbia High School, according to the source. It says that he played West Columbus, Texas, where he ran the triple option. All right, what is this? This looks like bad info. Anyway, so let me go to the other one. Let me skip ahead here. Basically, he did cool, whatever. He ran triple option. That sounds like a bad idea. You get body rocked playing triple option. So let me look at his college career span over 3 seasons. He played 2 seasons at Washington State and 1 at Florida. Okay, so let's get these numbers out. So during those 3 seasons, he threw for 11,000 yards. So Shedeur threw for like 10 or 11. So okay, cool. 87 touchdowns, 23 interceptions. So he threw for more touchdowns, more interceptions. 66% completion. Threw the ball way more, so not going to knock him for that, right? He played his first 2 seasons at Washington State, transferred to Miami for a senior year. So he had his career best at Miami, 4,000 yards. So right around the same as Shedeur, 39 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. That's actually pretty good. That's actually 39 touchdowns. What was that again? 39 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. Shedeur had in his final season 37 touchdowns, 13 interceptions, I think it was. No, 64 touchdowns, 64 and 13. I'm sorry. So not bad ratio. It's actually still not better than Shedeur's, but cool. So 66% for his career. So his numbers weren't bad at Washington, and I'm really looking at this in real time. This is my first time looking at Cam Ward's numbers, but the reality is this. You can't tell me, based off of what we saw on the field yesterday, that Cam Ward was any more deserving of the number one slot than Shedeur Sanders was. Now, we all understand what the NFL is about, what they were doing. All right, so we don't gotta go into that. And matter of fact, we don't even gotta look at the rest of the stuff. But I took the liberty of looking up some other stats. I want you to look at what Joe Milton III did tonight. Now, he may have still been playing before I left to come over here to record. So I'm gonna check real quick just to look at his updated numbers. So Joe Milton, 17 of 29. 143 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Did we catch that? 17 of 29, 143 yards. He's averaging 4.9 yards a throw, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Let me go look at Shedeur Sanders' numbers just one more time. 17 of 29 for 143. Because I'm starting to see a weird trend here. Where you at, Shedeur? So 14 to 23, 138. So he's already thrown the ball more than Shedeur did and barely had more yardage. Shedeur had 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. And that's Joe Milton, who's already been in the league a few years. This is Joe Milton, who they said had a really solid chance of giving Dak Prescott a run for his money as the number one quarterback. They said he's been shredding the defense. Not to get too far off of Shedeur, but we talk some Cowboys over here too. Did y'all see that Stetson Bennett IV was just lighting up the Dallas Cowboy defense? Now, mind you, Micah Parsons wasn't out there. Trevon Diggs wasn't out there. So I get it, whatever. But Stetson Bennett IV, the guy, I don't believe he got drafted. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong in the chat. Did Stetson Bennett IV, the 2-time national championship guy from the Georgia Bulldogs, shout out to my boy Said, did he get drafted or did he go undrafted? How can a guy like that, who hasn't even had a good pro career thus far, light up your Dallas Cowboys defense like that? Well, I'm gonna say it one more time for somebody to get offended, think I'm hating on the Cowboys. I'm a Cowboy fan. But on this page, on this channel, I'm a realist. I am not going to hate. I'm just going to call it like I see it. They haven't won a championship since I was 10 years old. And I'm 38. Stop playing with me. At some point, I believe, this is my belief about fandom. It is earned. It isn't given. And the Cowboys made me be that way. We talked about it on the last show. I understood fandom from my grandmother, who was a humongous Cowboy fan. Shout out to that girl, you feel me? But this is the reality. The Cowboys have done nothing that has warranted us to be these crazy fans that go sell out the number one franchise in America, in the world even. They surpassed Manchester United and all of these. You telling me the Dallas Cowboys deserve that? I'm just asking. Okay, my boy Bruce Wayne Glass said that Stetson Bennett was drafted 128th overall. My apologies, Stetson. My apologies. What round is that? That's like the, 30. So it's like was it the third, the end of the third or something like that, or the fourth? Okay, I was wrong. I was hating. I'll be real with you on that. Maybe I was hating a little bit. But my point is, he was literally slicing and dicing the Cowboys apart tonight. So what do you think Matthew Stafford's going to do? I'm just wondering. 2023 draft. Absolutely. So 2023. So yeah, he's been in the league already, for 2 years technically. But Stetson Bennett just ripped your Cowboys a new one. They're my Cowboys too, but I'm just saying overall, I don't want to be super biased. What do we say about that? But anyway, Shedeur Sanders. The coaches have now said that he's going to get significant snaps next week against the Super Bowl champions. If this isn't their first preseason game, I would like to think that he's going to get snaps against the first team. 4th round. So Stetson Bennett the 4th. Talk about a lineage, huh? 4th round draft pick. Stetson Bennett the 4th. Drafted in the 4th round. He's out there looking all world. He's looking like he's going to be in MVP contention against the Dallas Cowboys defense. Sidebar on that. I didn't see Deron Bland playing. And like I said, Trevon Diggs is still out with the injury that he suffered late last year. They gave a lot of hype to this end rusher kid and this other guy who had a knee injury, and he's out there limping around already. I just listen, man. I just want to temper you. I said it on the last show. Go back and check it out. But on you gonna get these sports, bro. Episode 1. The Cowboys will probably go 6-11, 7-10, and that's just my honest opinion. I'm just looking at the schedule. I'm looking at what we rolling out there. We just lost Zach Martin. He retired. A lot of these guys are still turnstiles out there on the offensive line. We're getting a high draft pick this year. And hopefully we get a quarterback, and hopefully we get some more linemen. That's me. But anyway, back to Shedeur Sanders. He will get significant playing time next week against the Philadelphia Eagles. Appreciate everybody who's tapping in right now. Hey, listen, stick and stay. Hit the like so you can share this with somebody. Subscribe. We talk sports. We talk a bunch of things on this platform. I appreciate you. It's your boy Mo. But listen, I am hoping, and keep this in mind too with Shedeur. He was playing with the third stringers. Kid's never played in the NFL. He doesn't get significant snaps in practice. He gets 2, 3, 4 snaps in practice, something like that. And he's out there playing with the third, fourth stringers. I've seen a couple passes where guys dropped the ball or they bobbled it before they caught it. A lot of alligator arms. Guys that ain't going to be on the team in the next couple weeks. I want to see what he looks like out there against Jerry Jeudy. So let me ask the chat. Do y'all have any excitement about what you saw or what may be to come? Did you see some things that you didn't like? Did you see some things that you did like? Inquiring minds want to know. Inquiring minds want to know. Because I personally, because I had a buddy send me a voice note, shout out to my boy Keem again. He said, he started off by saying, I know you're a critic, right? And to be fair, I am a critic. I am critical. But you can't, once again, you can't explain to me how a guy has to be drafted on the 3rd day, and when they span to the people, they like they was mad to draft him. The fix just kind of be in, is all I'm saying. So, next week against Philly, what I'm hoping is at least, he's able to at least play with the second string. Maybe get some help from the defense. Because, they still end up winning the game. And my boy Randy said that Carolina was projected to win. Right? And I was like, yeah, it's preseason, though. You never know what's going to happen in preseason. But I see Shedeur having a LeBron James type effect on that city and on that town. He's a good kid. And I just... What we never talk about, and now see, we got to take a little pivot here. We got to kind of get a little deeper in the weeds here about where this hate actually comes from. If you look at now mind you, we seen him celebrate once he got drafted. That doesn't look like a pretentious kid who knows that I got screwed over and I should be whatever, right? No, it looks like a kid that really had a dream to go to the NFL. His daddy is one of the greatest players, let alone corners to ever play. So it's a lot of pressure in that. What I guess I'm just wondering, even when I was seeing him with approach one of the media guys, and he was asking, why you always saying bad stuff about me? It's never like any real hate or vitriol that's pointed towards people that he's addressing. So the pivot that I want to kind of go on, not a real pivot, but just kind of take a deeper dive, is most of the time when we see kids getting drafted, Ron Graves, what's the deal? My guy, we talking a little bit of Cowboys, just a smidge. Commanders got their butt smacked the other night. We ain't talk about that. Commanders got their butt smacked the other night against the New England Patriots, but that's neither here nor there. But most of the time when we see kids get drafted, right? We talking first round, second round, fourth round even. What do we normally see? We see them go give the commissioner a big bear hug. They're crying. These kids come from impoverished situations. This is their ticket to get out of the hood. This is their ticket to live the life they've always wanted to live. So there is this dependency on I gotta make it, right? And that's from black and white kids. This ain't got nothing to do with color, so to speak. But the caveat is, a lot of the times, it is more prevalently shown from the Michael Orrs of the world, where you was drafted by the family. You were adopted by the white family, and The Blind Side and all of that stuff, right? Y'all getting y'all smacked. Hold on, let me see what my boy Ron said. Y'all getting y'all smacked as we speak. What you talking about? Hey, I just talked about it. Shedeur Sanders' numbers per attempts are better than Joe Milton, who's starting now, who started for us and played well, I believe, into the third quarter. So, the thing I always say, once again, Ron, I'm a realist. And appreciate y'all once again. Anybody who's been sticking and staying with the kid, please hit the like. Please just check your boy out. Subscribe, man. See all the stuff that I bring. This is a network. I appreciate everybody who does hit the like and who supports your boy. You feel me? But hit the like. But nah, man. What we see is desperation. We see desperation from kids year after year. That's NBA, NFL. It doesn't matter, right? These kids, this is the only, and I agree with Cam Newton on this. He said, this is the only place in the world where a kid becomes a millionaire overnight. Easy. Becomes a millionaire like that. You go from eating ramens in the dorm. This is pre-NIL here we're talking about, right? This is pre-NIL. You go from eating ramen in the dorms. You can't take money. Boosters are giving you stuff, whatever, in whatever way that makes it legal for you to receive that, to overnight you get drafted and you become a millionaire. What's the difference here with Shedeur Sanders? What's the difference between Shedeur Sanders and all those other kids that have been drafted for the last 30 years? I'll give you 1 second to put something in the chat for me. What's the difference? Come on now, don't make me wait now. We got new watchers on here, I believe. Appreciate y'all for tapping in. What you gonna get these sports, bruh? You feel me? All right, y'all taking too long. Shedeur Sanders, I ain't gonna say he's a Nepo baby, but technically he's a Nepo baby. What's the difference between Shedeur Sanders and LeBron James Jr.? Bronny James. What's the difference? Hold on 1 second. 1 second, y'all. Hey, what's up, my guy? I'm recording.
Yeah.
You hear me? I bet. Yeah. He's a Nepo baby. Deion Sanders has been rich his entire life. You've had privilege. What kid can you name that has been trained by Tom Brady since he was in high school? If you do, we don't know him. So all I'm saying is Shedeur Sanders went into this not necessarily needing the NFL. What they should like is that he desires to play. He gets up every day knowing I don't necessarily have to do this, but I want to. It's a passion. I'm driven to do this. Ron said he better than all 40 previous quarterbacks Cleveland has had besides Baker Mayfield. A great point, my boy. Absolutely. Shedeur Sanders, yes. I'm thinking. I'm digging through the archives of Cleveland quarterbacks. Shedeur Sanders has been better than all of those. And let's be clear. Just bust down my AP. It's perfect time, man. My boy Randy just hopped in, so I had to wave Italian twine. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna get an AP on a Shedeur. I'm just saying. You know what I'm saying? I think Ronnie told me it only cost 25. But but nah, hit the like as well. Appreciate everybody for tapping in. But listen, Shedeur Sanders has come from privilege. This is the bottom line, guys. Shedeur Sanders doesn't have to do anything that he's done, but he chose to do it. And that should matter. A person, I'm trying to think of a different way to put it, right? It's like, for years, I've tried not to put my kids, I've tried not to post my kids because everybody posts their kids, right? But it's like being a dad ain't nothing new to me. So I'm going to be doing whatever I'm doing because I'm a dad every day. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't just become a dad when I post stuff on social media. And not to knock nobody who does that, but my boy Randy literally was like, bro, post your kids. Like, what do you care about what anybody got to say about that? Because it was like, man, I don't want nobody thinking I'm trying to, you know, it's like, man, post your kids. Like, post your kids, bro, because that's what you own. And so I liken that to the same thing as Shedeur. Shedeur gets up and wants to play football because he wants to be great. And I'm just wondering, when has that ever been a crime? But I'll tell you another thing that the NFL doesn't like, far beyond Deion. See, there's another difference with Deion, too. They couldn't do anything to Deion. This is pre-social media. So him telling them, hey, y'all might as well not, you can keep the playbook because I ain't even going to be there. He literally, I think he told the Giants or somebody that, hey, keep your playbook, dog. I'm not being drafted by y'all. You can do that. This is the 80s, late 80s, early 90s or something like that. He can do that. They wanted to punish Shedeur Sanders for what they couldn't punish his daddy for. I don't need y'all. I want to do this. The kid has shown nothing but gratitude since he's been in the NFL. Not since he's been in the NFL. Anytime I've seen him, I actually told a story about I was doing security. This is when he was still at Trinity, and it was a party. And my boy Keem, it was my boy Keem's security company, and he actually came in. It was like they're like, I think it was their prom or something like that, like after party or something. The most respectful kid. Yes, sir, thank you, no problem, pat down, whatever. So I just think some of that stuff is a bit overblown. You know what I'm saying? And it was just a ploy by the NFL. Yes, sir. Shaq told his son, we don't need ball. Same concept. But see, that'll never get talked about. See, Shaq's son, and if I'm make sure I'm talking about the same kid, I think it's only one. But Shaq's son that you're talking about, that's the one who had the heart issue, right? And he went and had the, almost died, had the heart surgery, and now he's back. He hasn't looked like the same player before the heart surgery, but he was a baller. But Shaq's like, you don't have to do this, son. We never talk about how big the shoes are. Think about Melo kid. Think about Gilbert Arenas' kid. Think about Bronny James. Think about Jordan's kids. Think about the Sanders kids. It's different if you're Shedeur and you play offense, but Shiloh plays defense. Started out at corner. A little slow for that, kinfolk. So they moved him to safety. He's a big hitter. So all I'm saying is we got to take these things into account when we actually look at what is actually being viewed in front of our eyes. Like, everybody is locked in. We never talk also about how sports are the great, like, what's the opposite, like, I hate that I can't think of this because it's a simple word. Y'all be like, you stupid. But, like, it brings people together, right? I seen white people and black people alike with Colorado jerseys. He had the number one selling jersey in the NFL. Let's be clear here. No different than Bronny. Bronny was selling buku jerseys, ain't did nothing. Shouldn't have probably been on the active roster at all last year. So we got to take these things into account. What Shedeur is doing is nothing short of amazing. It's perfect timing. Bust down the AP. So, let me look at the last thing we said. Resale is $25K. Yeah, resale $25K. Yeah, man. So Shedeur Sanders, man, like I said earlier, will be getting a bulk of the work next week against your Philadelphia Eagles. I would be interested to see what he looks like against that defense. Because he ain't going against Jalen Hurts. He going against that defense, which is a absolute monster. Let's be clear. They have been to two Super Bowls in the last 5 years and won one. Should have won two if they ran the ball in the second half against the Chiefs. So you would have actually beat the Chiefs twice? Like, what are we talking about? What my boy Ron say, sports makes enemies become friends. Absolutely. Shout out to Scott Regan, because that draft party gonna be lit. I'm drafting Shedeur. I'm just gonna let y'all know that. Still in the draft. If you try to take Shedeur from me, Ron, we're gonna have a problem. Because Ron had 2 running backs last year that were doing the fool. But that's neither here nor there. Back to Shedeur Sanders. So once again, I posed the question and I want to know from the chat. What do y'all take from what he did yesterday? Is it overblown? Because this is where I got to be a realist. Although I was highly impressed by what he did. Once again, this kid has never played football in the NFL before. So any defense is going to be daunting. They were smart. They started off with a nice little run play, a slant here. That's how you introduce a rookie to the NFL as a quarterback, right? But we also got to be real and say most of the calls in the NFL in preseason are very vanilla. Oh, see, Ron, don't tell me you're a hater. I won't. Don't worry. Hey, you heard it here first, Kifo. My boy doing the fool this year. Shedeur doing the fool this year, Kifo. You know what I'm saying? But what we got to be honest about is that although I love what I saw, that's not the best thing he's going to see out on the field. Okay? He may not. So even in him going against Myles Garrett, maybe in practice, I don't even think he doesn't never play with the first string. Hakeem Magic, Brady Stewart, and Manning all trained him coming up. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Hakeem Magic. You know what I'm saying? Brady Stewart. Now what Stewart? Cordell Stewart? Are we talking Cordell Stewart? Brady, Tom Brady. I believe he's saying Cordell Stewart and Peyton Manning. All because we know it wasn't Eli Manning, and Manning all trained him coming up. That's what I'm saying, dog. You would be a fool not to expect to see some greatness from this kid, because let's be clear, Peyton Manning didn't train other kids. They ain't performing like Tom about. We gotta stop. If you are on here and you don't like Shedeur, I would like to know why. What has happened? What do you just believe he's overhyped? Give me some feedback here, because I don't want to make it seem like I'm just glazing. You know what I'm saying? I want to get the other side of the coin. But what I was saying, though, going back to that, me being unbiased as I can, that's the most vanilla defense that he's probably going to see all year. People aren't rolling out their best defense, offense, or schemes in the preseason. And most of these teams, usually we would see the starters because, they cut the games down, right? There's one more game in the regular season. That means there's one less game in the preseason, right? So a lot of these teams aren't starting anybody from their actual roster. I was surprised to see my boy from Alabama, and I know I've been doing well on names and I just blanked. What's the starter? Bryce Young. I was surprised to see Bryce Young start, to be honest. Now, he only played a series, and he looks good. He I think it was like 3 or 4 games into the end of the season, he actually the wheels started turning for him, and I'm glad because the kid was getting rocked. You feel me? And that franchise has turned every which way but up since Cam Newton left, but that's neither here nor there. So, to that point, though, I am interested to see if Philly is going to ramp it up a little bit for Shedeur to see how he actually can handle that pressure. Because all eyes is on him. You can't, last week was probably the only time that he actually really played with the starters, if you think about it. 2 quarterbacks had hamstrings. They have just picked up one kid, that one kid, what was his name? He played in Seattle. He's all right though. He's just a place filler or whatever. So it's all on him. You're going to give us every sample size. And this is what they also aren't talking about. The fact that he actually was not satisfied. He said, I let my dad down. He said to leave no doubt. So he's not even drinking from his own cup. Please don't complain about him doing this when he throws a touchdown. He's been doing it. Get over it. He's got nice watches and whatever, dude, he's just living a life that most kids aren't privileged to do yet in college. I'm just saying, you got guys that are getting all this NIL money and they will never get to play in the NFL. It's quarterbacks that are getting NIL money, 2 and 3 million, switching teams, saying they are not going to play until you give me more money. And somehow they aren't ending up on TV. They aren't producing in these moments. We saw it. He didn't look the greatest around every corner, but he still looked good enough for as a rookie to do the things that he did. Y'all tap in with your boy, man. Let me know what y'all thinking so far. How y'all feeling, man? Hit the like, please. Take that finger, reach up there, the one you've been picking in your nose with, and hit that like for me, kinfolk. Come on, hit that like for your boy. Make sure you share this, man, so we can get some more people in here. I do want to know what y'all actually think, though. What did y'all actually think? Were y'all satisfied with it? On a scale of 1 to 5 even. Give me 1 as you think he did terrible, 5 as you think he did phenomenal. But let me know what y'all think. While I wait on you for that, I do want to get into a little bit of Cowboy talk. Just bear with me here. I got to talk about Micah Parsons. So, I was doing a little research on Micah as well. Okay? And I got some breakdowns on what his numbers actually look like per year as far as the sacks. Hold on, let me see. Ryan tapped in, so I'm gonna stop real quick. He said, I can't lie though. In my opinion, Cleveland doesn't want him. Go back to the draft day war room. They got a gem and ain't appreciating it. Bruh, I actually talked about that. When they went to the war room after they drafted him, the dude was like, I'm like, bro, did your granny just die or something? Like, what's the problem here? Why y'all look all mad and stuff, bro? Like, y'all didn't have to draft him. Like, so it'd be that. And let's not forget about what the owner said. Remember, the owner was like, and what he said could be taken 2 different ways. But the owner was like, if you'd have told me that on Friday we were going to be drafting Shedeur Sanders, I would have said, ain't no way, right? And people took that as 2 different things. One, he's such an incredible talent that there's no way he'll make it to Friday or Saturday, whichever day it was. And then he said, and then other people's frame of thought was, there's no way I would have okayed us drafting him. My issue with that is, why even say that in the first place? He said, I believe they're going to start Flacco, trade Pickett, release Watson, and keep Shedeur, Dillon, and Huntley. So that's 4. I don't believe they're going to keep 4 quarterbacks. That's my only thing. There's no need for you to keep 4 quarterbacks. I don't believe they're going to cut Deshaun yet. Because if they would have cut Deshaun, typically what happens is you do a post, I think it's a June 1 post cap hit or something like that, right? You wait until June 1st or after June 1st and then you cut them because it doesn't count against your cap to a certain extent. But I was just talking about that though. Pickett is absolutely not going to stay. I mean, that kid, he had his chance to be the guy in Pittsburgh and he spit the bit. You see what I'm saying? Watson eventually is going to get cut. So you're talking about that's 2 guys that are gone. Joe Flacco is going to start. It just is what it is. Now, he will have a short leash depending on how well Shedeur plays. He will have a very short leash. And Dillon, you keep Dillon because you drafted him so high, right? But Huntley, I think it ends up being, dang it, you might be right. It's Flacco. I'm just going to say it in order of quote-unquote importance based off a draft. It would be Flacco. It would be Dillon because they drafted him higher. Shedeur. I think that's it. I don't even think Huntley makes the team, to be honest. Because if I'm not mistaken, he was a late pickup, correct? They didn't. He hadn't been on the roster. All right, so let me see. We got some in the chat. Akeem Magic said, "I don't think the owner was dissing him. I think he just put his foot in his mouth, like out of touch. Rich white men often do. Rich white men often do." That's a good point. I ain't gonna lie. Especially considering I mean, come on, man. I'm in Texas. I'm a Dallas Cowboy fan, admittedly. I'm not a overzealous one. But if we see what Jerry's been doing in the media, why are you talking so much? Why do you have anything to say like pardon me why I express my frustration for Jerry Jones and the Jones family. Do you know what they do at the beginning of free agency every year? Anybody? Does anybody know the normal tradition of Jerry Jones and the Jones family at the beginning of the free agent what's the word I'm looking for? The free agent pocket or whatever you call it. Does anybody know what they actually do every single year like clockwork? Anybody? Let me see. My boy Ron said Flacco won't be there next year. Absolutely not. And he won't finish the year as the starter. He won't finish the year as the starter at all. But Jerry Jones and his family take a vacation. A literal vacation at the beginning of the free agent opening of the year. You don't get to take spring break, fam. Like, this is who runs the Dallas Cowboys. The guy who wants to go take vacation when all of the players that can make a difference in your roster can be signed that you didn't draft or that you're not re-signing. But even though I'm not the hugest fan of Micah Parsons, I'm not saying he's bad. I'm not saying he's not talented. I'm just saying I'm not sure that he is deserving of a TJ Watt type deal, of a Crosby type deal, because he doesn't perform to the clip that those guys do. And it's not just about the numbers. It's not just when you get sacks. It's who you get them against. It's what time. It's what time in the game you actually get the sack. Is it in a 2-minute warning? Is it right before the half? Is it when it's 3rd and 5? Like, those things all matter to say if a guy is that elite or if it's worth it to actually sign a guy like that. So, Keem said, is this my partner Keem? Because if it is, boy, y'all be killing me with these names. I'm a Cowboy fan too, fam. I'm a native New Yorker. No, that's not Keem then. Okay, he said, I'm a native New Yorker. That'd be interesting to me. Can you tell me how that works? Like how y'all end up being Cowboys fans when y'all got the Giants and the Jets? I just be wondering. That's interesting to me. But he said Cowboys fan since 2011. No, since he was 11. I'm 42. Preach, brother. Thank you, man. Because I don't be want to make it seem like it's hate. It's just, fam, what are we doing? Like, Jerry Jones, go sign somebody prominent. So, prime example, right? This is why he doesn't this is why he doesn't sign guys like the big name guys no more. 3 different times. This is why. Roy Williams III, the receiver that came from the Lions. This big body slant runner. Why did we sign him anyway? He said, it's not, but salute your Akeem. Yeah. Once you said you was from New York, I said it's not him. But yeah, man. He said, hold on. Man, what did you just say? He deserves it. You must be talking about Micah. And if you are, please tell me, why do you, like, he's been the best person on y'all defense for 4 years. And that's saying what? Like, what is that saying? Listen, I was Russell Wilson like on my flag football team. What does that matter? So what? I really be having a problem with that. Akeem said, fam, I honestly don't know. My entire family gives me Hey, fam, either way, I'm rocking. But you know what, though? I will say this. That speaks more to the Cowboys, at one point at least, being America's team, that you can have a kid that, because I'm 38, so that means you would have been born in 83. Being a Cowboy fan, you know what I'm saying? Like, since you were 11, it's like, bro, you got the New York Giants. You had Lawrence Taylor. You know what I'm saying? Like, Tiki Barber. I don't know their roster like that, but I'm just saying. It's yeah, bro. The Cowboys be pissing me off, dog. I digress, man. But he said, "Oh, you're right about Roy Williams, bro. Why did we sign him? Garbage." They also signed Brandon Carr. They broke the bank on Brandon Carr. One of the biggest failures that we had at cornerback since Morris Claiborne. If you're a Cowboy fan, you remember Maurice Claiborne came from LSU, ball hawk, all those things. And what did he do in the NFL with the Cowboys? Nothing. Stayed hurt all the time. You're hell when you're well, but you're sick all the time. What we talking about here, kinfolk? So, Roy Williams, Brandon Carr, and then who was the one that got caught? Who was the one, Akeem, I know you're better to help me. Who was the guy that ended up doing MMA later after he left the NFL, but he was balling out at Carolina, and then he got caught like with coke and AK-47s and beat the girl up in the hotel room, and they cut him, and then we picked him up. Who was that guy? Because those 3 signings alone made Jerry say he's not picking anybody up in free agency that is worth the money anymore. He said, man, something about that star on the helmet. Bruh. And was it Bart Starr? Or who was the one who was responsible for that? Greg Hardy. Thank you, Ron. Brandon Carr, Roy Williams III, and Greg Hardy. 3 of the worst pickups you could ever get. And like, bro, it's like football is so much up here too. And let's not forget about this guy. He said, oh, he crazy as hell. Let's also not forget about this. We could do this on and on here, kinfolk. Rolando McClain. Star linebacker out of Alabama. And what happened to him? He got drafted by the Raiders, right? He didn't want to play football, literally. He was a top 5 draft pick. He didn't want to play football. He also burned his own house down. Shout out to Rolando McClain. I seen him when he was locked in like a few games. The dude was unstoppable, literally. He was all over the field. He hit people with aggression. Long, big guy, just ready to ball. But mentally, he was tapped out. So Rolando McClain quit on football. Greg Hardy, dopehead. Brandon Carr, undersized, try hard. Roy Williams, oversized, try hard. None of those guys panned out for us. So maybe it's not the players, Jerry. Maybe it's your evaluation of these players. But we need to start actually drafting guys who make sense. We need to start actually picking up guys in free agency that make sense. Hakeem said, It was a time it honestly seemed like all guys did was kiss up to Jerry Jones. Got a couple of dinners with him and get a big contract. Well, but here's the thing about that too, Hakeem. I think the guy is super charismatic, very savvy. Jerry knows how to close the deal though. So, I mean, yeah. Jerry knows how to close the deal. So he's an oil guy. You know what I'm saying? He said he wanted the Cowboys. He played at Arkansas. You know what I'm saying? Won a championship over there, him and Jimmy Johnson. Which, sidebar, it might have even been a little hate. You know what I'm saying? Maybe they had some. Maybe Jimmy stole his girl back in the day or something. I still can't make sense of why there was such a clash between them. But I digress. He said Greg Hardy. And then Ron said, well, damn. What did you say that to, Ron? Because it must have been one of my comments. And then Akeem said, and they always underproduce in Dallas. Always, bro. But it's something about the culture there, though, bro. Have you ever been to the Star? Have you ever been down here to watch a game? If not, you should come, bro. I'll link up with you for sure down here for real. But here's the thing, bro. What other team in America can you go on a tour and the team is actually working out and you can watch them work out like they're freaking, like you're at the zoo or something? Jerry does everything he can to make them so accessible, so out in the open, that's the reason why it worked with Jimmy. Because he got the groceries. I don't care what Jerry tells you. Jimmy Johnson got the groceries, fam. He orchestrated that trade. He may not have pulled the final trigger because Jerry is the GM, but Jimmy Johnson orchestrated that trade to send Herschel Walker to Minnesota and get all those picks for us to be able to draft the people we drafted to become the championship team that we became. Tell me I'm lying. He said Hardy almost killed his girlfriend too. That's what I'm saying. It was a girl there. It may have been his girlfriend, but I'm saying he beat the life out of that girl. Coked up. Yeah, man, it's real. Bruce Glass. Jerry doing a great job. I disagree with you, my boy. I know it works in your favor because y'all sitting pretty over there, but I vehemently disagree. Ain't no way, kinfolk. Ain't no way. We lost to the Texans in their inaugural season. We lost to the Carolina Panthers in their inaugural season. Who loses to expansion teams? The Dallas Cowboys. That's who. Man, listen, dog. I hate the sight of that stadium. I need to move. So where do you stay at, like, as far as like how close are you to the stadium? Because that's actually interesting. Man, appreciate y'all for tapping in, man. For those of you who've been steady watching your boy, man, please make sure if you have not hit the like, please subscribe to the channel. I appreciate it greatly, man. We don't just talk sports, but we do talk sports for sure. You know what I'm saying? I agree. It's definitely something in that building. Man, because you know what? It's that, man, they got that bad juju on them. Because I don't know if you know, it used to be a neighborhood and stuff where the stadium was. They had neighborhoods, where people actually stayed. They were paying people to move out, all type of stuff. They was forcing people out to get that stadium built. So you right, bro. It's some juju on that stadium. Yeah, it's definitely some juju. Cocaine is a hell of a drug. What did the five fingers say to the face? Slap. Yeah, cocaine is a hell of a drug. Washington had its years with Dan as owner. Bruh, you ain't never lied. Snyder was the worst thing that ever happened to y'all, but the best thing that ever happened to us, kinfolk. That dude was so bad that Nike retracted their support from the team. Look, all of my Native American people was like, hey, kinfolk, we don't want nothing to do with it. We don't want nothing to do with it. That's crazy. For those of you who don't know who Dan Snyder was, he was the longtime owner of the Washington Redskins, because that's the best name, the Washington Redskins for years. And he literally dang near drove the team into bankruptcy. Bro, he was a fool with it, kinfolk. I ain't gonna lie to you. I knew that I knew y'all was gonna actually be fine once y'all got that guy to become y'all's, like, well, I think he became president that came from San Francisco. I knew Washington was gonna be good. I heard a little about that. I'm in Vegas now, so I'm on the outside looking in. Yeah. Washington, Ron said, wanted Snyder gone so bad. Listen, man, I ain't gonna say it on cam, but I'll say it without saying it, kinfolk. Some of us believe that the franchise will be better when Jerry Jones is talking to his ancestors. I'll say it that way. I'll just say it that way. Some of us believe that the Cowboys will not reach prominence again until Jerry Jones is no longer a part of that franchise in body and in spirit. Akeem Magic said his wife was a real piece of work as well. They dang near ran a sweatshop over there in DC. Mad sexual exploits and all types of nonsense. Yes, I was just about to say that. Bro, it's like a video of him like walking around in his robe, like groping people. He was a bad dude, bro. I've never seen the NFL force somebody out. He sold the team, but they forced him out. Let's be clear. Let's be abundantly clear on that. Like, nobody, like, I wanted him gone. Because when you talk about being an NFC East fan, you absolutely, see, when we were the NFC Beast, you know what I'm saying, where everybody was good a little bit, because the Giants they're just poo cheese, let's be honest here. They're terrible. But Russell Wilson was looking halfway decent, and Jackson Dort was looking decent too. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, man. I think the NFC. I don't know, bro. So let me skip ahead to and say this about the NFC East. I believe the Eagles still win the division this year. I'm sorry, Cap. I'm sorry. Lo siento. Pobrecito. Hey, I apologize. But I think the Eagles win again. They have a great GM and a great franchise. It's just no other way to slice it. I believe they win. I also believe that I think Washington still is more relevant than they were last year. There is a sophomore slump coming. Everybody experiences it. I'm sorry. You can say what you want. Don't tell me about Patrick Mahomes, because y'all don't got Andy Reid. Y'all don't got Eric Bieniemy. Stop. Don't talk to me about Patrick Mahomes. That's all I'm going to say. And then you said, it's the truth. I think they will win the year after he's gone. Bruh. And that ain't a year too soon. That ain't a year too soon, kinfolk. Ron said, I used to yell at the TV, please, Snyder, please sell the team. Please, kinfolk. Baby, please sell the team, dog. Yeah. So, I will say this. What I hope doesn't happen to Shedeur is what happened to RG3. RG3, for whatever, I'm like, why do you draft him so high if you don't want him? You know, to quote the prophetess Fantasia, if you don't want me, then don't talk to me. Go ahead and free yourself, kinfolk. You didn't have to draft RG3, but you draft him, you literally run him into the ground. You don't protect him. The dude's knee did this. I've never seen a knee do that before. It did that. And just like that, his career is over. Let's be clear. RG3 was a phenomenon to the NFL. And if they would have protected him, you guys would have had a long line of y'all would have had longevity. I'll say it that way. And I believe Cam looked up both their numbers. Like, he looked up Jaden's and RG3's, and they were actually comparable. So for those people who want to look at 1 year of Jaden and say, oh, he's amazing, he's the best thing ever, RG3 has similar numbers, kinfolk. That's how I will say that. Shanahan should have never played him against Seattle in the playoffs. Who are you gonna play? Who are you gonna? I mean, like, no, you're right. Let me say this. You're right. I'm not disagreeing with you, but RG3 was your best chance to win. He was one of the most dangerous dual threats that you've seen, because he could run it for 60 and he could toss it for 60. But you should have absolutely rested and healed that kid, because Kirk Cousins a pretender. If we being honest, Kirk Cousins' career has been a robbery. I was glad Deshaun got what he got. I don't care if he plays another down. I'm glad he got what he got. Because Kirk Cousins ain't won nothing in the NFL, and he has robbed them blind. And they like, oh, you want some more money? You want? I know you just tore your Achilles. You want some more money? It's unbelievable. Cowboys, I believe, at worst 6 to 7 wins, but I could see them getting 9 to 10 this year. So, Bruce, I agree. It is now we in sync now. We locked in. Hey, if we locked in, ain't no switching up. You know what I'm saying? Like for real. We locked in. I said that. 6-11, 7-10. I said the Pickens CeeDee Lamb combo could have some monstrous games, and I could see them that could flip to them winning 2 games. So I could say I could see them going 8-9, 9-8, something like that, possibly. But it's a long listen. That defense, you are screwed if that defense doesn't get better. We gotta hope that Micah at least comes back. It is what it is. So he said, remember it like it was yesterday. I damn near tore my house up. I blame Shedeur. Hey, I'm gonna tell you what's comparable to that moment. Everybody remembers this moment, one of the most famous, terribly famous moments in the Cowboy history. It's the last. This is when I said I'm not gonna care as much as I did because I let out an MFer when this happened. When Romo fumbled that snap. I said, mother. And I said, I stopped for a second and I was like, I don't even say that word. Did I just say that? I said, all right, dog. I can't let them get my blood pressure up no more. I can't let, when the Cowboys make me say MFer, and I don't even use that in my regular vocab, I wasn't even cussing at all at that time. I said, matter of fact, I had on some Dallas Cowboy pajama pants. I took them things off, threw them in the trash. I was so mad, like, bruh, Romo, you are the placeholder. This is what you do. How does this, this wasn't the normal. Listen, fam, you are the placeholder. Because you were the backup. Remember, Romo was the backup. So once Drew Bledsoe got hurt or whatever, like, he became the starter, but you were used to holding the ball. Like, that's what you do. He pisses me off, man. Romo just, he's a reason for a lot of. Anyway, Ron said, Kirk Cousins was our backup that year. I'm thinking longevity. So true, but Kirk Cousins wasn't really like that, bro. You got to remember now, y'all made the playoffs with him and stuff like that, but it was a lot of 8-8, a lot of 9-7. Like, he was just a middle of the road guy is what I'm saying. RG3, still with the hurt knee. Now, I don't know if it was tore already or whatever, but he was the big play guy. He was a reason he was drafted ahead of Kirk. You get what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying. So you're right. He said he was ahead of his time. Absolutely. Nah, Kirk, listen. RG3 in today's league would still be one of them guys. Let's be blatantly clear here. He said, I get that about Kirk Cousins, but RG3 might have played longer. Oh, absolutely. So that's what you were talking about. You were thinking about the longevity of RG3. I agree. You probably should have rolled him out. You probably should have rolled Kirk Cousins out and just let RG3 rest, and it is what it is. Even if he plays well, I'm still not even. So RG3 at his best and Kirk Cousins at his best, I'm taking RG3 every time, even if it's just off the running thread alone. It's a no-brainer. So he said, nah, facts on Kirk, Mr. DEI. Hey, fam. Now, do we believe that there is something to, he got a little racism on him? Because, that was a part of the look, that was a part of the talk was like, that Kirk Cousins got a little racism on him, kinfolk. Don't get it twisted, because when he was playing with Minnesota and they put all the chains on him and he doing all that on the plane, hey, man, that boy got a caravan with them 8 kids. He lives a very Amish life, kinfolk. I ain't saying that mean he racist. I'm just wondering, does anybody think that it was something to that? Because, you don't come up with that stuff from nowhere. That Romo fumble, bruh, I cussed loudly, bro. I was at my auntie house. Boy, I was done, bro. I've quit the Cowboys a few times. I ain't even gonna lie to you, kinfolk. I didn't quit on the Cowboys quite a few times. Now I keep my balance because I know if they come on, I'm gonna watch them. I ain't rushing home from church to watch them, but I'm gonna watch them. Keep Dak healthy. I know he's not your favorite, but y'all need him healthy. Spoken as a guy who you know how I feel about him. Dak, listen. Joe Milton III ain't got a snowball chance in hell of beating Dak Prescott out in anything. Marbles, slapjack, quarterback, it don't matter, kinfolk. Him shredding up our defense and looking like a QB1 means nothing to me. Especially when you don't got the best guys out there. So, yeah, I agree. He's what we got, so we got to roll with him. That's what made it worse. And I'm assuming you're still talking about he was the placeholder. I'm sorry if I'm a little behind on these, but yeah. He says, I agree. RG3 was him. Bro, they smoked us, bro. On Thanksgiving. I'm at my auntie house. She's not a Cowboys fan. She's a Saints fan. I'm like, why? My sister, too. She was a Saints fan. I think it was because of the dude she was dating, because she ain't even no Saints fan no more. Women so finicky, kinfolk. But yeah, they smoked us, bro, on Thanksgiving. I was so mad, bro. He was either, because that's when they had Alfred Morris as well. So Alfred Morris is running all over us. RG3 is running all over us. And then he's doing that bootleg play where he rolls out and he's hitting somebody wide open. Oh, bro, they smoked. Santana Moss destroyed us, bro. The worst time ever. It's hard to get the racist jacket in sports. I'm just saying. That's a good point. That is a great point. It is I ain't gonna say impossible, but it's nearly impossible. You know how many white quarterbacks been in the NFL they ain't said it's racist, but he get it. It's like, okay, all right. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man. Little reset, man. We talked heavy Shedeur Sanders early. See, here go Bruce, dog. See, every time, hold on, let me go up real quick. Let me go if I get to this hate that he put up. Milton can shred y'all defense from now till kingdom come, and he'll never beat out Dak. He get paid too much. Follow the money. That's not true. And you want to know the number one? You want to know the number one example of how that's not true? Atlanta Falcons. Kirk Cousins was a starter, and who's his backup? And I told Said was so mad. We paid him all this money. So what? It don't matter. It don't matter, kinfolk. If you give the team a chance to make the playoffs, you should absolutely start ahead of whoever making the money. It's not the player's fault that they paid them the money, but do you want to win? You want to go to jail? You want to go home? You want to quote Denzel? You want to go to jail? You want to go home? Like, you got to start the guy who's going to give you the best chance to win. So, then Bruce Glass with the hate. One of the best Thanksgivings ever. Whatever, man. Whatever, dog. You know what I'm saying? It was bad. Like, there's nothing, because you got to think. The Cowboys get special treatment. We can't deny this. They technically get 2 bye weeks because you know how it's like you'll play on a Monday and then, or a Thursday or something like that, whatever. They get a bye week and then they'll play like 3 games in 10 days or something around Thanksgiving, but they'll play on Thursday, don't play that whole week, and then come back and play that next Sunday. So the fix be in. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, in this instance, when you don't win, because typically we get a soft serve. The Cowboys typically are going to get a bubble gum game on a Thursday, on a Thanksgiving. It's just how it's set up. But that year they smacked us. You know what I'm saying? So, Ms. Reese said, don't talk about us. We're rocking with whatever team my guy rolls with. Yeah, I'm a Cowboy fan. But I'm a Shedeur fan. You know what I'm saying? And I'm a Shiloh fan, so it's just what it is. You know what I'm saying? Alpha Morris, when we didn't even know who he was. Bro, that was the worst part, dog. Because it was like, who is this kid? Bro, he ran for like 200 yards on us or something like that. On Thanksgiving, bro. It's demoralizing. I'll tell you another. This is just a gripe for the Cowboy fans, fam. We here. Just sit in with us. We ain't asked nobody to chime in. Just let us get our stuff off. Let me tell you another moment that I know you remember, Akeem. I'm going to tell you. Last game when we were in Irving. Last game at Cowboy Stadium when we still played in Irving. Do you remember who we played, and do you remember what happened? I'm gonna leave that out there. If you chime in, I'm gonna put the comment up. Otherwise, I'm gonna come back to it. Ron, exactly, one of the best Thanksgivings ever. Memories. Shut up, man. Shut up, dog. Yeah, bro, y'all getting on my nerves, dog. Chill out with all that, bro. Chill out with all that, dog. Reset for the 10 people in here, man. Appreciate you for tapping in with the Mind of a Man Network. You're going to get these sports. I'm your host, Mo. Please make sure if you will be kind and not too mean, please hit the like, please subscribe, and please share this with a friend so we can keep talking sports. You feel me? Russ in Seattle. Wait. Which one was this? Russ in Seattle. Which one is this? Which one is this, Akeem? Tell me what you're talking about. Tell me what you're talking about in a little more detail. But LaShonda said, I always hear that the Cowboys are America's team. Yeah, at this point, it's like they are in theory. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like the Lakers and the Yankees. You know, technically Lakers are like, I ain't gonna say America's team, but they're like the darling of the NBA, right? When the Lakers are doing well, basketball's on fire. You know what I'm saying? When the Yankees are doing well, baseball is on fire, right? Because they're the team that you love to hate. That's just what it is. The Lakers, Cowboys, Yankees, and if it's another one, let me know. Notre Dame in college football. They're the team that people just love to hate. People can't understand why they get all the love they do, but the reality is this. Yankees have won multiple championships. They just got that bravado about them, the pinstripes. You know what I'm saying? Everybody got to shave their mustaches and their beards. Like, they just have a certain standard about themselves, how they carry themselves, and they always carry a big bag. You feel me? The Lakers, multiple championships. You know, you got you got the Showtime Lakers, you know what I'm saying? Irvin Magic Johnson, like they just was those guys, you know what I'm saying? So, and then Notre Dame, people just can't understand. It's the gold helmets, baby, the luck of the Irish. That's my squad. You feel me? I ain't even gonna hold you. That's my squad. He said, I think it's time for a change. No more Cowboys games on Thanksgiving or Christmas. I'm sick of it. Well, first of all, Ron, nobody asked you. That's the first thing. The second thing is, we don't play on Christmas. We've never played on Christmas unless we played last year. We always play on Thanksgiving, though. We've never really played on Christmas, but if we did, it was just maybe last year. But I feel like they always do. But anyway, we don't normally play on Christmas, but we play on Thanksgiving. Man, nobody asked you, man. He said, the Sanders family brought me back to football. Really? That's crazy. Bro, they are so polarizing, man. That family is just polarizing, man. It's royalty. You know what I'm saying? Hey, he was kind of chubby, remember? Dang it, I can't. I'm having a hard time following yours because I think you be talking in the moment and I be missing it. Okay, I remember the one thing I asked though. Let me see what Bruce said. Y'all didn't hate Alfred Morris too much for that game. He played with y'all later. He did, and he actually kind of balled. He actually did kind of ball out, if we being honest. But, you know, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? People come to us and they ain't never the same. You said I don't remember. I'm finna tell you what happened. Yeah, I'm finna tell you what happened. He said, and I'm too proud to go to Google. I remember. I remember. I'm going to tell you in a second. I got you. Let me get caught up on the comments. I'm a Lakers fan. Okay, respect. Washington Wizards are terrible. They aren't America's team. Haven't been since I was in 6th or 7th grade. That's cap. First of all, you older than me by a few years. But, fam, you can't say that. You can't say that. So, America's team isn't just dictated on Super Bowls or championships in general. So, you can't say that. I could probably agree with you as of maybe like 5 years ago. But I ain't going back to when you was, bro, that was 30 years ago. You telling me they ain't been America's team since 30 years ago? You capping right now, Ryan. Duke basketball. That's another one. I'm skipping ahead to the comments. Russ took the job from the QB that had just signed a big deal. I can't think of his name. What was his name? Yeah. What was his name? I know you're talking about, though. Russ took it over, though. Duke basketball. So Duke basketball, Notre Dame football in college, Lakers in basketball, Cowboys in football, Yankees in basketball. Those are just teams that people love to hate. So this is what happened at Irving at the old Cowboy Stadium before it imploded. We played the Baltimore Ravens. I know you remember now. They beat us by 30. It wasn't close. And Ray Lewis is walking around at the end of the game saying, now y'all can shut this mother down. Now y'all can shut it down. I was like, bro, all you had to do was win so we could have a great memory of playing at Cowboy Stadium in Irving, bro. We get beat by 30 and then they blow the stadium up, bro. It was the worst thing ever. Cowboys and Lions always play on Thanksgiving. Yep, that's a fact. Relaxing on Thanksgiving. That's us. Relax on Thanksgiving. That's us. Hey, yeah, that's what I'm saying, bro. He hating to look too much. You know what I'm saying, bro? He like, yeah, relax, my boy. Yeah, Alfred Morris, man. He was that guy for sure. Yep. Bro, we got drove. Oh, see, that's what I'm saying. I know my boy Bruce, dog. Notre Dame fan in the building, dog. Yeah, dog. They hated that we made it to the championship, dog. I almost had Texas Notre Dame, and that would have been the best championship ever. But of course, Texas, couldn't beat Georgia, spit the bit, whatever. He backed up Tom Brady. Who did? Russ? Oh, the guy. Flynn. His name was Flynn. Something Flynn. The one that Russ took his job. Yeah, something Johnny Flynn? Something like that? Yeah, bro. The Ravens, bro, beat the brakes off of us, bro. I don't remember who the quarterback was. I don't remember who the coach was. I just remember we got drove, bro. We got drove, dog. And it was just a sad sight to see, dog. Not good for any Cowboy fan ever, dog. Ever. So, since we on Cowboys, let me give you some Micah Parsons stats. Just stay with me here. Just stay with me here. I'm going to reset the room in a second, but stay with me here, okay? I got some Micah Parsons stats. Now, I ain't going to lie. I cheated a little bit because I ain't going to lie. I asked AI to help me out. Wasn't Ed Reed balling that game too? Everybody was balling. Everybody. No cap. No exaggeration. Everybody was balling. Multiple picks, fumbles. It was terrible, bro. Matt Flynn, not Johnny Flynn. Matt Flynn. Russ took Matt Flynn's job, and we never heard from that kid again. I wanted him to play so bad. Yeah, I wanted him to play so bad. Yeah, Matt Flynn. So, Micah Parsons came into the league in 2021, right? I asked ChatGPT or AI, whatever, how many sacks did he get against playoff teams? How many sacks did he get against playoff teams? And it said, and this could be a little wrong. It actually is very wrong because it shows teams that didn't make the playoffs. But it says he had 7.5 sacks against playoff teams, but that's actually not true. He got 2 against the Kansas City Chiefs. We lost that game. And I'm going somewhere with this, so bear with me. He got 1 against the New Orleans Saints. We won that game. He got none against the Cardinals, none against the Eagles, and 1 against the Raiders. I couldn't imagine the Raiders made the playoffs. So 3 sacks against playoff teams, and we lost those games. That was in 2021, right? Well, hold on. Let me double check that. We lost to the Raiders. Did they make the playoffs? Some of this might be a little wrong. I ain't gonna lie to you because the AI be kind of tripping sometimes. But we lost to the Chiefs. He had 2 sacks. We lost to the Raiders. He had 1 sack. We won against the Saints, which is a rarity. And then, of course, that year we played against San Francisco in the playoffs, and he had this many sacks. That many sacks in the playoff game. So, in 2022, I asked the same question. The Giants, one of them years the Giants did make the playoffs and they got smashed. It says he had 2 against them, 1 sack against the Eagles, and we won that game. But that's the game that Jalen didn't play because he was hurt. This stats is irrelevant because the Bears didn't make the playoffs. The Vikings made the playoffs that year, but they were not a good team in reality. We beat them 40-3. That don't count. So, he may have got 2 sacks against playoff teams that year or something like that. 2023, Parsons had 2.5 sacks, 2 games against the Eagles. Okay, I'll give you that. And then he had a half of a sack against Detroit in a game we should have lost. That's the game we should have lost. Remember when they called that playback? And I'm not trying to hate here. I just want y'all to we got to be clear about what we're actually looking at from Micah Parsons here. Like I said earlier, it's not just that you got 20 sacks. It's how you got the sacks. What point in the game was it? Was it a playoff team? Were you going against a good tackle or were you going against a monster, a behemoth of a like, all that stuff matters. I just, in my personal opinion, and you can't tell, so, okay, 1 second. I'm going to ask this live. 1 second. ChatGPT. I said ChatGPT. Lord, what am I talking about here? Hey, Siri. How many sacks total does Micah Parsons have in his career in the playoffs? Now, if this thing is deceiving me, it says he has 1 sack in 4 games. He has just 1 career sack in 4 playoff games. And you know who that was against? Tampa Bay. And we were beating them by 20. 25. It was over for Tom Brady at that point. So, Ron, you're telling me 4 playoff games. The next coming of Lawrence Taylor. 4 playoff games. 1 sack. I'm listening. Like the team, Parsons has also underperformed. He has just 1 career sack in 4 playoff games. What do we have to say for that? Is there any explanation? He's the best player, so he gets double teamed. Hold on, let me go back. I'm sorry. MP, Micah Parsons might be a bit overrated. Don't kill him. Don't kill me. Okay. No, I'm not going to kill you because I agree. I agree. He's overrated. And I'm not being a hater. I want us to be realists as Cowboy fans. He's a little overrated, fam. He's not getting the job done. Okay, let me say it this way. He has 52.5 sacks career in the regular season. He could have 80. If he don't get none in the playoffs, who gives a crap? Who cares? Produce on the field when we need it the most. Under 2 minutes in the playoffs. 1 career sack against Tom Brady. 2 games against Minnesota, 2 games against San Francisco. He was null and void. 1 game against Green Bay. We got beat by 40 burger. He's supposed to get paid like TJ Watt though? Does he just need more help? I digress to football players in the room I played, but I'm more of a hooper. So, yes, he could benefit from more help. I mean, listen, 2 is better than 1, kinfolk. You know what I'm saying? Listen, man. I get married. She gonna be more. I'm gonna be better because I got help. You know what I'm saying? But in this instance, though, or I'll say it this way: if I look at the top guys, they go into the game knowing they're the top guys. The game plan is to stop them from doing what they do best. Somehow, a lot of these guys, not all of them, still find a way to get the job done. Micah's not getting the job done. Bruce said, Lawrence Taylor, 8.5 playoff sacks, 15 games, scored a touchdown. And let me be clear. Lawrence Taylor, and tell me if y'all disagree, is the greatest defensive player of all time. He's, now mind you, he's better than Aaron Donald only because he was even more dominant. It's amazing what he did. We can't sleep on, we have a problem with revisionist history in sports and life. We see one dude come out and dance. Oh, he the greatest dancer ever. Bro, Michael Jackson came out and popped his calf muscle and somebody fainted. Now, I think Chris Brown may be, overall a better dancer per what he does. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think Michael Jackson did what he did great. He was great. Don't get me wrong. I'm not taking nothing away from Michael Jackson. Please don't argue with me about this. But I'm saying Chris Brown, pretty special. But I digress. But Lawrence Taylor, 8.5 playoff sacks. In the playoffs. Playoffs? Now, you said playoff sacks in 15 games. So, okay. I'm trying to see how that breaks down. So he pretty much got like 1.5 sacks every other game, right? 1.5 sacks every other game in the playoffs. Lawrence Taylor. And scored a touchdown. Micah Parsons, 4 games. So he got 11 more games to beat those numbers, and he was supposed to be the second coming of Lawrence Taylor. Get out of here. I agree. I see it. That's all I'm saying. 3 playoff games, he was null and void. We didn't know Micah Parsons was on the field, but we seen him doing this. Man, you ain't got your win yet, my boy? You been in the league 4 years. You ain't got your win yet? Come on, man. Let's just keep it a stack million, man. Stop playing with me. Bruce said Lawrence Taylor played when the NFC East was good most of the years. This is during a time when when the Giants had been to the Super Bowl, the Redskins had been to the Super Bowl, the Cowboys had been to the Super Bowl. I don't know about the Eagles. I think the Eagles also had went to a Super Bowl. Yeah. They were the dominant league. They were the dominant division at that time. And Lawrence Taylor was in fact feared. They was like, hey, where Lawrence at? He showed up to the game, coked out, no sleep. Lawrence Taylor. Yes. Coked out, no sleep. Somebody better put a hat on him. Better put 2 hats on him. That's not Micah Parsons. That's all I'm saying. It's not no hate. This is just reality. I watched these guys do this. I watched the Cowboys, fam. I watch football, period. Chris is more modern. Chris who? Chris who? Chris. LT, Michael Parsons, Chris. Chris who? You gotta start giving me some context, dog. Hey, we be cooking, dog, but you gotta give me some context. Chris who is more modern? So, yes. So, 52.5 sacks in the regular season. This is what I do know. Washington wasn't good until last year, right? So, here's my other argument. So, any sack that you got against Philly almost ever since 2021 mattered at any point during the game because it was Philly. We've dominated the NFC East as long as Dak has been in the league. That's a fact. Until last year. Those numbers are inflated against teams who didn't make the playoffs and didn't have good franchises. That's all I'm saying. He said, point taken. He goes straight to his show and podcast about other teams and players. He not that focused, it seems. My guy, thank you. He's a podcaster. He's like Shakur Stevenson, the boxer. He's like Shakur Stevenson. He's a podcaster. Chris Brown. Oh, okay. Chris is more modern. Chris Brown is more modern. He's the Michael Jackson of our era for sure. I think we could just agree to, let that rock. He's the Chris Brown of our era for sure. But yeah, you said point taken. He goes straight to his show and podcast about other teams and play. See, that's what I don't like. Why you got Dre on your show and y'all just best buddies on the couch? This generation too friendly, man. And I blame LeBron James, dog. LeBron James had no friends or something. He act like he didn't have friends. So it's like you always want to be friendly with everybody. Where's the Kobe mentalities? Where's the Jordan mentalities? Where's the LT mentalities? Like, I just remember the time where dudes really wanted to get after it for real. It was like, nah, man, we not cool. Like, we really got beef for real. Like, I want to beat you. We can be cool in the off season, but right now, nah, bro. Ain't no jersey swap. And we had odds. Yeah, man, that's all I'm saying. I just remember when it was like almost like some on site when we seen each other. Nobody, I wasn't really never a big Chris Paul fan. Nobody really liked him, but he was a competitor. The big ticket, he was a competitor. You know what I'm saying? Like, we just got to go back to them times, dog. It made sports more interesting when there's actually rivals. Like, why you coming on my podcast? I play in the same division as you, fam. Forget ratings. Forget friendship. Because I be feeling like y'all really be trying to lobby to... I think I seen a stat, to your point. I think I seen not a stat, but I think I seen a quote that says something about... It could have been fake. But it was whoever the guy that they just drafted... Micah says something like it's only right that the league gets to see us play together or something, and he plays for the Giants. I'm like, fam, Jerry don't even be signing people like that. Like, that's another thing. Jerry, he does this with everybody. CD, Dak, you. Like, it's a lot of people that want contract extensions and it always gets drug out. That's why people think he's a bad GM. So... He was the only child. He was an only child, LeBron James, yeah. Thank you, my guy. Hey, appreciate you, King. And that boy, hey, he go ahead and gave some context. Said he was the only child, LeBron James. Now, because I promise you, I'd have been like, who? Who's the only child? Mine be a little bad sometimes. But no, you're absolutely correct. He was the only child. I don't want to go psychologist on you, even though, I did give him a degree in that. That's a whole other situation. I digress. But yeah, but I still think, man, some of the competitiveness, because this is what people don't know. It wasn't supposed to be Chris Bosh. It was actually supposed to be Melo. I forgot what happened for that to fall through, but it was actually supposed to be Dwayne, LeBron, Melo instead of Bosh. So, I ain't mad at nobody for trying to make super teams and nothing like that. I ain't tripping on that. But can we just make sports competitive again? I love what Cam Newton is doing, because he's saying, hey, let's make debating sports relevant again. Like, I'm not just gonna come on the platform and gas somebody up because I know them. That's lame, bruh. Same with sports. Like, let's actually... He did it to Emmett. You just did it to me again. You just did it to me again, Akeem. Who did what to Emmett? Emmett who? Smith? Who did it to Emmett? I swear I'm not. My memory just be bad, fam. But who did what to Emmett? Hey, if Randy's still watching, he'll tell you. I piss him off on a regular, cause he'll tell me somebody that I know, and I'll be like, "Who? Like, do I know him?" And he was like, "Yeah, fam, you know him, dog." But anyway, man, recap. Let's go back, man. Shedeur Sanders. Pretty impressive what we seen from him. I know you agree. If you don't, you probably a hater. Raul or whoever that was on here earlier, and he was big hating. He was big hating. You know, I'm gonna tell y'all. I'm gonna be honest. Black people, and I'm not a racy guy. I'm not a race bait guy. But black people have severely disappointed me when it comes to support. And I think it's because a lot of people just don't have confidence. So when we see somebody like Deion, who is literally molding the minds of young men, we say he's too cocky, he's too brash, he's too confident. And I just believe that that's one of the things. Say, bro, hold on. I can't wait to get down to this comment. He said, remember, he didn't want to pay him, and they lost, and Jerry caved and paid Emmitt Smith. Yes, great point. Give me more context the first time. Yes. We went 0-2. Is that correct? Or was it 0-3? I think we went either 0-2 or 0-3. He didn't want to pay Emmitt. And then Emmitt came. They paid him. Emmitt came back, and we went to the Super Bowl. We went on like a 12-game win streak or something like that. So Jerry is known for stiffing guys, man. That's just what he does. He said facts, worst type of dude. Hey, Phil. Hey, man. Hey, man, we are here amongst friends, kinda. So these people knew, dog. They don't know. You can't just call me the worst type of dude, you know what I'm saying, out of nowhere. You know what I'm saying? Like, they gonna really think you mean it. Man, my memory just be bad sometimes, dog. It ain't nothing personal, you know what I'm saying? But yes, they absolutely, listen, in sports, here's the misconception is like people be really worried about the salary cap, and it's like no they're not. You can finagle that salary cap however you want to. Like that's what the Dodgers have done in baseball. That's what the Yankees have done for years. Either number one, if you're gonna continue winning, you got TV money, you got money that you make for making the championship, for winning the championship. Like the owners do what they want to just to flex their power. That's what that's about. Sidebar, I remember when Diddy was trying to become owner of the Carolina Panthers. They was like, hey buddy, we know your freaky shenanigans. You'll never get this club. But that's a whole other situation. But anyway, yeah, I'm not, I think I got a problem with black people who say that Deion needed a slice of humble pie or something like that. I'm like, all he's done is go get. Didn't he get the number one quarterback last year? Randy, am I wrong about that? Wasn't the kid that he signed last year the number one quarterback in college football? So you got the number one DB / receiver in Travis, who just played in the NFL. He put Webster in there, the receiver, Weaver, the defensive back, Shedeur, Shiloh. He's put multiple guys in the NFL. He gets NFL players, the greats, to coach these guys. I don't know how Jackson State's done since he left, but I don't remember him playing too many games on ESPN. Do we want HBCUs to get attention, or do we want Deion to stay there and save every HBCU in America and waste his talent that he, like, his influence? I just don't get it, man. To quote my boy Randy, man, he beat cancer in an off season. Yeah, he was a top guy. So yeah, he was like a top guy for sure, like top like 3 in the nation or something like that. So, like he said last year, or maybe it was 2 years ago, get me now. You better go and get him now, because let's be clear, Deion Sanders is only going to get better. Let me see. My boy Magic. I'm just call you Magic now, kinfolk. They'll throw in ownership of businesses and even real estate to close the deal if they need to. The salary cap is make believe. Yes, absolutely. But here's the thing that I don't like though, Magic. How was Tom Brady able to get what he got? So I ain't know no other players to get no ownership into no NFL teams. And if it is one, name them. Hey, look, I ain't trying to say that I'm wrong, but I mean, I'm not trying to say that that's wrong, like that I know that for sure. But Tom Brady can't commentate certain games because he has ownership in the Raiders. When they start doing them deals. And pardon me, but I slightly take offense because he's a white man. I'm sorry. Because it doesn't seem like things are done equally across the board. That's all I'm saying. He said, yes, he got the number one quarterback. Okay, yes, that's what I figured. I just didn't want to misspeak. But yes, absolutely. Number one quarterback in the nation. Now, they make it seem like it's a real battle between him and the kid that I believe was a backup last year. I hope he don't get beat out by the kid from last year, even with the experience. Fam, number one kid, you should be starting. That's all I'm saying. Jackson State 12-2 last year. Okay. Well, at least they're still doing their thing. All I'm saying is I'm not checking for them. Now. Respect to TC over there. You know what I'm saying? I remember his name. Look, it's sad. Hey, Randy, I can still remember TC name. Coach that I don't pay attention to, but I can't remember people's names that I went to church with. Deion Sanders did amazing things for HBCU football, and his effect, it still lingers. He left the coach in place, and they just won the championship, so they're doing well. Okay. Yeah, so there we go. See, to me, that's doing the Lord's work, folks. In my opinion. If they just won another championship, you're doing the Lord's work. What we talking about here? I ain't mad at a thing. It was the fact to me that people lied on Deion and said that he said he was going to be there forever or something. It was his opportunity. And imagine Deion going to Florida State, Florida, somewhere like that, even a Colorado fresh out the gate. Was he going to be able to bring his sons? Was he going to be able to do that and start them? I think that Deion farmed his kids the way he was supposed to. Except for Shiloh, because I think Shiloh, after that first year at South Carolina, I think he was projected to be a second rounder, if I'm not mistaken. I believe that he was projected to be a second rounder. But he also did take a step back. When he got hurt and then when he came back, I mean, he could never really cover like that. He's just a big hit. He's a hit stick guy. But, I mean, I hope he does well. I really do. But overall, Deion did what he's supposed to do, man. I'm not finna hate. Oh, it's white privilege for sure. Hey, man, I'm just saying, like, what qualifications do you need to be an owner in the NFL? What's the qualifications? I'm just wondering. Because I think it might just be, I'm just saying. I digress. The kid that he's competing with is a transfer from Liberty University, and he's an NFL prospect like 3 or 4 years older. Okay. All right, so it's not the kid from last year. Okay, cool. So, okay. Well, I ain't mad at that. NFL prospect. The one thing I will say is I was super locked in that first year and somewhat the second year watching like all of Bucky's, videos and stuff like that. I've started back watching, but, Colorado has 2 really good quarterbacks. Here's the thing. It's great. They had a good quarterback the last 2 years. What is that offensive line looking like? Because it don't look like they still can stop a nosebleed on defense, and it don't look like they can let the running back get to the second level. If they can't do that, they're going to be in trouble still. At some point, You got to start stealing way more of these recruits. That's all I'm saying. So, in the world of sports, question: Have we seen Shiloh play? That's number one. Number two, I'm disappointed that they didn't let Jimmy Horn into the game sooner, because he looked way more explosive and better than any of those receivers that was out there playing. That's the second thing. Number three, do we have any word on how Travis played tonight? Because the place that I actually went to go watch the game, they didn't, I guess, they weren't showing it or whatever. How did Travis look tonight? Did he play offense? Did he play defense? What do we know about what Travis looked like tonight? Deion Sanders is a true man of God and a great leader of men. And it's hard to deny that, man. That's why when I look at the hate he gets, it's disappointing, man. It's really disappointing. And once again, it be from his own color folk. And I can't stand that. Florida State was recruiting Shedeur and Travis. They offered Deion the job and then gave it to someone else. He then took the two of them to Jackson State. See, I never heard that. I thought that he was interested in Florida State, but they wouldn't let him bring his staff is the reason why he didn't go. He wanted to bring his own people, and they were like, nah, you, and maybe, okay, you can bring your sons, but whatever. He doing just fine. Peace and love to the chat. I'll be back. Gotta go work. Family, glad I found y'all. Man, respect. Appreciate you, my guy. Once again, thank you, man, for hitting the like, man. Hopefully you hit the subscribe, man. You check out. I do a lot of other stuff, man, but I do appreciate you for tapping in with the sports. My guy, King Magic, man. Much love to you, my man. So, does anybody else have any other things about football, boxing? I want to get into some boxing too. I don't know if y'all are into boxing. Not tonight, but another time I want to get into some boxing. But if you have any other thing that is sports related, please let me know. I'll tap in with it. I'll give you like a minute. And if not, we're going to shut this thing down, man. I do appreciate y'all. For 2 hours, man, I done had, man, at least 10 people in the chat, man. Whoever y'all are, I appreciate y'all for tapping in. Make sure you hit the like. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. I enjoyed this, man. Y'all boys been tapping in real swank like, you feel me? Let me tell you something. I just bust down my AP. It's perfect time, man. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to that boy Shedeur. Looking forward to college football. Okay, who's your team in college football? Because I agree. As a Texas fan, Arch Manning. I don't know why I'm so excited about the kid, but I'm excited. And I think he's going to do really well. I mean, I really do. I believe he's going to do really well. So, Notre Dame, that's my squad. Hey, squad up. I don't know if y'all ever seen that dude. It's a dude. It's so funny. But anyway, if you don't never see the video, it's not going to be funny to you. But anyway, I'm looking forward to seeing what Arch Manning does. At Texas, dog, we got the money over there. I ain't even gonna hold you, kid, folks. I ain't even gonna lie to you. We got money in Texas, so we paying kids, and we're gonna get the best of the best of the best. So I'm expecting to compete for a championship again this year. So I will say that. So all things are good over here for me as far as college football goes. Kentucky, that's my college basketball team. That's a whole nother story. Said, I'm a Notre Dame and Auburn fan. Now, does that have anything to do with Cam? Or is that just, is that have anything to do with Cam, or is that just you always been rocking with Auburn? But yeah, definitely looking forward to college football, dog. Apparently the way the Cowboys are looking, I'm just finna give me a Shedeur jersey, dog, and maybe a Shiloh jersey, and then just go from there. Yeah, I don't even got nothing for you, dog. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, I'm looking forward to it too as well. So if you want if there's any topics, any teams in specific that you want to talk about, any topics, please shoot me an email at IamAnthonyMooreInfo@gmail.com. IamAnthonyMooreInfo@gmail.com. Bruce Glass said, Alabama and Georgia haters. Sorry, said, if you're watching. So, yeah. Said be going too hard for Georgia, man. You gotta think I work with him too. I mean, his socks is Georgia. His hat, everything is Georgia. So I ain't mad at the fandom. But he be going a little too hard sometimes, dog. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. But anyway, listen, man. Hell to the W, whatever. I'm gonna put it up there because I got love for you, but we ain't going for that crap over here. Man, listen, man. This is episode number 2 of You Gonna Get These Sports, bro. We will talk anything. Like I said before, man, please send me an email at IamAnthonyMooreInfo@gmail.com. IamAnthonyMooreInfo@gmail.com. That's 2 O's on more. And I will put the topics into the show, man. I am for the people. You know what I'm saying? So whatever y'all want to talk about, I'll familiarize myself if I don't know it. Until next time, I love you. May the Lord keep you, man. Go Cowboys, go Notre Dame, go Kentucky basketball. And I'll see you boys later, man. Peace. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe, man.